In this video, I'm revealing to you a complete guide to the Sonic ecosystem and the best airdrops to be farming right now for your opportunity, a 200 million S airdrop. And I'm going to reveal to you everything you need to qualify, how to earn the points that are needed for this airdrop qualification, and the total allocation you can get with it. So let's dive into it and see how Sonic is redefining DeFi and why it's a powerhouse, and everything will be shared here on how to get started with Sonic, how to get your wallet, how to bridge over, and how to earn especially these points, which will lead to one of the biggest airdrops. Part of 200 million of the S airdrop tokens will be distributed. So first things first, you want to make sure that you go to Sonic Labs. This link will be in the description, and all the links that I provided will be there for you down in the description. So just click the links down below. First, you need to have some Ethereum or sort of deposit on chain. So if you don't have anything on chain, this is a free, simple website to go on to that you could use and deposit anything from a bank account, a credit card, any sorts of funding that you can think of. You can pretty much start here. And I want you to go and get some tokens on chain. I prefer USDC, and I recommend Base. This is going to start you off very simply. And next, if you don't have a wallet already, you'll need to download the Rabby wallet from rabby.io. And you have some versions here. I prefer the Google Chrome, and I've started with this. Once you have your USDC, you need to bridge it into this network called Sonic, and you'll need to use the S token for gas. So you're going to start off with your base and your USDC on base. So here you see an example. I have some funds here that are USDC on base, and I need to send it to Sonic, and I need to send it as S token. So I'll just find Sonic over here, and I'll need to also find the S token right there. And if I type in something like $10 or $100, you can see that I'll get and receive the S token, almost $100 worth. They take out a little bit for fees to do this, and you might have to also increase the amount that you send over as a minimum. So if it's not meeting that threshold, make sure you're getting enough there. Okay, so we've bridged over. We can take a look at the Sonic ecosystem. You can see here that the TVL, the total value locked, have just been up and towards the right. This is something very positive that you like to see. Right now, we're approaching over $1 billion in TVL, and we're up 2.5% in the last 24 hours. We have some really good metrics we can see here, such as the stablecoin market cap, the chain fees, the DEX volumes, the perp volumes, inflows, which is really important. We have 1.2 million today, and the bridged inflows as well. So we can see that there's quite a long list of different applications you can choose from, but that's going to be a big waste of time. I've zeroed in on the best ones, and I've also included a list of curated airdrops for other chains and also on Sonic. A lot of them are included here. So just type in your email and you'll get sent that list for free. If you'd like to join this email listing here, you can do so completely free and get those airdrop lists right into your inbox. I think the best one to start off with is Shadow, and I'm going to go through all of the other dexes that I think are worth your time looking into. And I have to go with the biggest right here, which is Shadow, doing the most amount of fees and volume. This is the pretty much the de facto decentralized exchange. This is where you're going to be doing most of your swaps for spot, and they have a pretty easy UX to use. You're going to come to the trade page, and you can select here any tokens to swap into any of the other tokens and check out the dashboard. This is where you're going to see your LP tokens or any sort of liquidity that you've provided, some fees that you can claim here. My rewards, you see I have $12.56 I can claim right now. And you can see the APR or APY associated with it and what you get. Right now, they're paying out X Shadow. So that's why it's pretty high right now, is what they're paying out. Go to liquidity, and you can see all the different markets and the pools for those markets and see what they're paired up with. You can see the fees, the TVL, the APR, the epoch rewards, and the volume. You can click right there on deposit to get right into them. I'll show you how that's done pretty simply. Just add up two assets. set your slippage and also your range if you want to do that, and you click on deposit. So pretty simple. And we'll go over here to X Shadow that you use for the voted pools here that you can submit your vote for emissions. And you have some stats associated with each of the markets. And this is to incentivize the LPs. And this is how this whole exchange works is through the incentive schemes that are provided here with staking X Shadow and the liquidity pools that are paid in this reward token. You can see here that each epoch has their specific rewards and the APR associated with this. So you can really see what you're getting paid out here in regards to the reward, and some of them have different rewards. This one has gems. This one down here has some more X Shadow or WS, which is wrapped Sonic token. And I think that this is a really good exchange to get your pair for like SUSDC. Here's the thing that you're going to be dealing with impermanent loss. That's why I typically don't go into these very volatile pools, especially with Sonic, which is pretty much set to outperform during the bull market, I think. So I don't want to pair it up with Sonic and USDC, which is a stable coin. I would much rather prefer pairing it up with SWETH or S wrapped ETH or S and Shadow, which are both pretty volatile and you get paid better with fees 1%. And you have a whole list of other tokens. You can see which ones you're already holding. Maybe you're holding some of these Navi tokens or Shadow tokens. Maybe you have some stable coins already in your wallet, or maybe you have some Ethereum. Look at which you would like to get into regarding what you're already holding, and also see what they're paying out in fees. Sometimes it might not be worth it. Maybe you want to get into a single-sided pool as well. So there's other exchanges that you can do that with. So maybe getting into Shadow is not worth it for you. So see if it's worth it based on what you're holding, based on what you're getting paid out with APR, and take into consideration the impermanent loss with any volatile and non-volatile assets. Let's go over to some of the other ones because there's plenty of dexes to choose from. And the next one that we have here is called Beats, which is the second largest native dex to the Sonic ecosystem. And there's plenty of pools. This is a basket dex, which means that there's more than one or two assets in the pool that you can deposit into. So I'll show you how that works. They say that this is Beats 2.0. You can earn passively for a lot of these pools here. And you can see that there's more than two assets paired up here. For this one, there's this a boosted dollar suite number one, and this has USDC. It has a sort of state wrapped USDC native to Sonic, which I'll show you later. And we have another exactly the same thing. We have a native USDC here. So this is boosted with Aave and also the Silo token. So there's different vaults that they have associated with these pools. So depending on which vault, there might be some weighted, some boosted, some that are stable. You can see here what type it is, and it shows you the details of each one. So if we look at some other ones, a lot of them look pretty normal and traditional like we're used to with just two assets. This one's weighted. This one's called Gyro ECLP. So you got to look into each one of these and see if it is something that you like to get into. And you can sort them based on APR, volume, TVL, and also the details here. So let's see which big pools they have here. They have some pretty big ones at 21 million. This is staked Sonic Symphony. And this seems like a pretty stable yield and a stable pool. And the yield is roughly like 9% here. So I'm gonna click into this one and just show you a little bit more about it. This one, it shows you the fees in 24 hours, the weekly incentives, and they're paying out beats and what they also call this fragmented beats here. Beats fragments. You get paid out in both of these sort of reward tokens, and you can pair it up with a wrapped Sonic and Beats staked Sonic as well. And you can come here to stake S, and this is a staking solution that Beats has provided, and they provide you the pools as well. So it's an all-in-one solution from Beats, and it is also native to the Sonic ecosystem. So I think that both Beats and Shadow are pretty good exchanges for Sonic. and they have a wide selection of pools you can get into based on what assets you want to provide liquidity for. And let's go over to some other dexes. The other big dex is called swapx. And this also has a lot of different pools that you can see here. This is using Itchy, which is a sort of vault for the dexes, and they're managed vaults where they provide you a less of a hands-on approach to managing your vaults, and these are concentrated pools from what I see here. So there's plenty of options that you can see here that you can swap into things, DCA, limit. So it's more advanced, the type of swaps that you could do. They do have as well with their like incentives that you can with their voting, locking up the swap token, and then getting rewards based on who you're voting for each pool here. So you see that you can vote for different pools, and you can choose based off the reward or which asset you want to vote for. So the average APR is 255% by locking up your swap tokens. And the last one here is WAGMI, and this is from Daniel Seste. He was the one who made the time token, huge Ponzi on Avalanche, and they eventually moved over to Sonic with this new DEX and sort of liquidity management with GMI. They also have another token called Anon, which is sort of like a AI agent. Don't think it's connected to this though, but it is worth mentioning that it is the same creator from Anon. As you see here, they do have some liquidity pools. They have leverage trading, so it's very similar to Impermax. So I'll bring that up here so we can go over that next because it is very similar. Pretty much WAGMI a DEX, just like a bunch of these other DEXs that you have to choose from. It is native to the Sonic ecosystem. It does have these different vaults as well that you can see here. And it does have different strategies with their leveraged V3 positions here. So this is very similar to Impermex, and it says here it's the lending protocol for market makers. So you're leveraging the Uniswap V3 or like these V2 pools they have here. So the difference here, I guess, is that Impermanex is with V2. They say that V3 is here. Let's see what this is. So this is the new V3 markets, and that is something new. Apparently, WAGMI has had the V3 markets before the Impermanex has. So that's pretty interesting. If you want to leverage, this is very high risk, a lot higher risk than normal V3 pools or V2 pools. So be careful doing this. Just know what you're doing and use caution with doing leverage. Going on to Aave, which is a lending and borrowing platform. This is not native to the Sonic ecosystem, but having the largest lending market in DeFi come on to Sonic just shows that there is definitely confidence in the Sonic ecosystem for such a big player in DeFi to onboard into it. So the next thing that I want to bring up here is Angles. This is a staking platform for Sonic, and right now you have 12.26% APR, 22 million already staked here. It's pretty big, pretty simple to do it, and it allows you to enter into all these different DeFi strategies and into these other protocols and getting a yield of 12% just by holding onto the Sonic token. So it's really nice just to hold the Sonic token and get a yield from it, then going into all these other protocols and taking advantage of the airdrops that you could get from it. And that's the thing that you want to be thinking about this whole time, is that these airdrops, you're going to be getting them by interacting with all these different protocols, earning points, and just leveraging this whole ecosystem to get as many points, accumulate these points for the eventual airdrop. So the more, the better. And doing this is really going to improve those chances of qualifying for as much of the airdrop as possible. Veda.tech is another great protocol I want to share with you. This is the DeFi Earn network. So this is going to be tokenizing the most complex DeFi interactions, granting protocols the power to embed yield for a superior UX. And I'm launching this And if you launch this, you can go to the different markets here, go to different chains, and I'm going to focus on the ones that have Sonic. And this is really great because it's pretty much like simplifying all these strategies, giving you a yield bearing token. And you see here, you can pick on Sonic from Rings, BTC, USDC, ETH, this Lombard, Bitcoin Sonic Vault. So you have four to pick from, and you're going to get all these points as well. So you're going to get the Veda points, the Lombard points, the Babylon points, and Forex Sonic points. And for a lot of these other ones, you'll get the 1x rings points, Veta points, of course, and more Sonic points. So I like this one because you can just go ahead and stake whatever you have here and then start earning all these points right away just by holding the token. So super simple. Just get whatever sort of asset you're starting off with. Go to the token that you want, like this Rings USDC, which it's really simple to do. Just click here, deposit, put your USDC, and you're done. And now you're getting all the points from all these different protocols here. The next thing I want to share with you is all the trading opportunities that you can get on Sonic and increase your profits with these airdrops. If you're going to be trading, you might as well get an airdrop on top of it. And I've been checking out one called Navigator Exchange. You have isolated margin trading and cross margin trading. So let's check this one out. It's pretty cool. Navigator is a decentralized perp exchange. Right here, you can enter in your trades. They have a couple things you can pick from, of course, Bitcoin, and here they have listed 40 different cryptos you can trade, either long, short them, and you can also earn from their deposit vaults. So you can go over here, deposit your crypto. You can also deposit your stable coins, and you get rewarded with the traders' profits or losses. You can lose probably too if the traders win a lot. So take that in consideration that it is a risk, but most of the time traders lose. So I think that the yield is going to be pretty good. I'm getting 80% on stable coins right there. And on my crypto, I'm getting 144%. This is a basket of a bunch of cryptos. And the most heavy in this basket is Sonic token with 43% representing the basket. And I've deposited a couple $100 here to earn 53 over this time. And there are also some vaults here and give you pretty good yields on a couple of these. The APY, you can pick which one you want. This one's paying out 17%. There's some other ones paying out, in the hundreds. So you can compound some of the vault tokens that you have. That's what I like about this is that you can kind of make it set it and forget it. And you can go into some other things like swapping your tokens. You can have an aggregator, you can DCA. So they have plenty of swapping options here. A lot of the dexes you can pick right from here with the aggregator and just get the best price instead of going to every single dex. You can go here right to the navigator, use your aggregator function, and get the best price from any one of these dexes. So it really helps out when you're doing swaps. It seems like they're pretty functional. They have a bunch of features here. They have a lot of users and interest in it. There's plenty of volume and trading going on. And if you're trading already, you might as well take advantage and get the airdrop on top of it. If we're looking at anything similarly to Hyperliquid, this could be a huge airdrop. Just look at Vertex, it's another one. This one does not have an airdrop. So if you want to use it, that's cool. If not, just sharing with you options that you have here with perp dexes. And let's go to the other one here. This is called Express Protocol. Same thing, they have a perp dex. You can use this one. They have different vaults here that you can pick from and deposit your funds into. Right now though, it says that the P&L is minus 20K, but the APR is still pretty high. You have 200% APY still. Let's go to Euler, which is a lending and borrowing application, and it's pretty cool because they also have like these vaults that you can go into. If you go to strategies, you can see some of the ROI, 34% for these PT tokens. They have a bunch of filters that you can narrow down what you actually want to pick from. And just look over here. There might be something that you can go into. Something might be interesting with one of these vaults. If you have some staked tokens or some sort of liquid staked token, there might be a vault for it or a PT token from Pendle or any other yield trading protocol. So let's go to Rings. This is a native stablecoin for USDC or also some other tokens like Bitcoin and Ethereum. You can mint it. You can use the minted tokens in the different DeFi protocols, and you can get a yield from these minted tokens, these sort of stablecoins that they provide you. And there's also another one called Origin, same sort of thing. It's a liquid staked token for Sonic, and you can provide this liquid stake token to sort of all these different DeFi protocols. These are the strategies that I like looking into because you can deposit into one of these tokens, still holding a Sonic token, which is a lot of you guys want to have exposure to it. And on top of that, you're getting a yield and you're using a protocol and you're able to use this yield bearing token in all of these other protocols. So you're able to layer in the incentive eligibility that you're having with using all of the different assets and using all of the different protocols. So here you can see the different yields that you can get with your stable coins, your Ethereum, and some of your other tokens here. So all the way up to 7% APY. And I'm going to go to some of the other yield producing protocols. That way, if you're holding some of these USDC or Ethereum, Sonic, Bitcoin, you can get a yield off of these. And it might be a little bit more stable as well. This is a new entry into these yield trading protocols. This one's called Spectra. You can trade fixed rates, trade yield, earn on your liquidity, and they help you build these sort of yield trading apps as well. There's a lot of different assets you can pick from. There's the stable coins, the ring protocols, the S beets, Silo. A lot of these have different protocols or different assets you can use, and you can select based off of that or the yield that you're getting from them. So if you're familiar with Pendle, it's pretty much the same thing. Pendle is way more established. It has a lot bigger markets and a variety of markets, but the yield might be better because of the TVL. There might be less TVL and more rewards for that TVL versus with Pendle. A lot of people know about Pendle already, so the markets might be a little bit more saturated, providing you yes less yield on the same assets that you're providing on Spectra. There might be some yield arbitrage if you're looking between Spectra and Pendle, so check that out. It's worth looking into. But there is a increase in risk due to Spectra having less Lindy in comparison to Pendle. The reputation is a lot higher with Pendle. And let's go over to Equilibria, another yield automation protocol. And you can select from sort of a list of assets here. This is what I do. If I'm already using a protocol, I'll see if I can automate the process. And just look over here. There might be something good there. Got to go to the correct change, of course, and you can see what they have. All right, let's go over to some more yield optimizing protocols. Beefy protocol is a multi-chain yield optimizer, and this is just automating your yield and optimizing it for you. If you're in any one of these protocols, you might want to check it out and just see if there's any way to automate it, and that way you can have a less hands-on approach to it. And one of the last ones here is stability.farm. This is a DeFi infrastructure layer providing you asset management solutions. They say they're based on AI, but well, who knows really what they say about that. They use all these different strategies here with Itchy, Silo, SwapX, as you see, and they have tons of different ones you can pick from. If you're using one of these already, it might be worth checking out to see if they have a vault. That way you can have a less hands-on approach and just simplify your yield automation strategies. And here we are with the last one called eggs.finance. This is a little bit of a Ponzi, but I thought I'd throw it in for last for a little bit of fun. And you can see here that you're going to be getting 616 APR. There is a deposit fee, so that's where a lot of the yield is coming from. And it's a pool two, so you're going to be minting eggs and you're going to be pairing it up and you get a yield for doing so. So just understand this is very high risk. It is working. They do have payouts, rewards in X Shadow, which has been going up, but it is very, very risky. You see that only 75,000 TVL here. This could go way up or way down. I thought it was fun. I threw it here last. It is native to Sonic ecosystem, and it's just your pull two little Ponzi using Sonic as the deposit, and you get paid out in shadow. So that's pretty much it. If you guys want to check out the list again, just make sure you sign up for it. And you have a whole list of all these airdrops. A lot of the ones that I covered will be in this list here as well. Check out the description for more information on everything I just covered. All the links will be provided. And also, the link for my free Discord will be in there as well if you want to join a great community of like-minded people that are airdrop farming and getting some pretty big airdrops. We've landed some big ones recently. Check us out. We're welcoming to everybody in the community. The links will be down below. Thanks for watching, guys. And if there's anything else that you'd like to see me review or any other airdrops that you'd like me to look into, leave your comment down below. I'll be happy to check them out. All right, guys, take care and be safe out there.